All right, welcome back. So now that we have our shape set up and we are ready to kind of like pop and move in characters and settle in on our composition, we're going to go ahead and do that right now. This will require a lot of guess and check, to be completely honest. But what you want to do is you want to decide which characters are going to go in the back row, which ones are going to go kind of in the middle rows, I should say, and then which ones are going to be in the front and center. For me, Link and Mario, I want them to really stand out in particular, so I'm going to save them for last. I'm actually going to go up top here, and I have my final one. I'll show you that in just a minute. But I put Bowser in the back because he's larger, so I think he suits that pretty well. So I'm going to move him here down below everybody, but still above the logo, and we'll show him. So before we go ahead and do anything with these characters, I want you to duplicate them. Just in case something goes wrong, you have the original. So click on the layer to bring up the layer menu, and then hit duplicate. Hide one of the two. I'm going to hide this bottom one here. You can see because the eyeball is crossed out right there on this Bowser here. So now, taking the one that we actually want to use, I'm going to take the Move tool that's in the top menu bar with the 4 arrows, and then brings up this. This way here, you can pinch and pull and kind of move him around, situate him relatively where you want him to be. I want my characters to look like they're popping out of this logo. Now, I know Bowser is not going to... you're not going to see the bottom of Bowser because other characters are going to be over top of him, but I think compositionally this is pretty strong here. He helps kind of guide you around that part of the circle. And then I'm going to hit done. We need to get rid of some of him though, because I don't want all of him to come out of the logo on the bottom side, like the left side. So what I do to kind of see where he's popping out is I click on the layer menu, and I'm going to lower the opacity to like 50, anywhere between like 40 and 60 is a good idea. Then we're going to use the this tool here, the Cashmere Eraser. I think it's like a nice one for this. Flow, I would leave anywhere between 60 and 80. Seems to be a pretty good flow for me. Size will vary. When you get up close to edges, we want to try to be as clean as possible to not go too much into the shape. So I'm going to use my slider here on the left. I like, the size right here. And we are just going to erase Bowser. If you want to get pretty fancy with this, you can use rulers or guides. And we can go ahead and like literally just line this up. But see, the Smash logo is not perfect, so it also won't be perfect. So I'm going to go like this because the top half fits better. Then I will take my eraser tool, which I have selected. And now if I erase, whoa, give me a second here, stylus crisis. If I erase Bowser now, it should not exceed the ruler, I hope. It looks like it's going into it. I actually don't like that. So I'm going to renege on what I was saying, and I'm just going to undo a bunch, and I'm going to handcraft this. Take your time. Like I said, any mistakes you make is easily undoable. But when I get close to the edge, I am going to decrease my eraser to a pretty small size and very carefully touch up the edges. We are going to be putting a border on the edge, so that's why it doesn't have to be like straight up perfect. But the better you do now, the easier it will be for you in the finishing touches. I also want this one out up here. All right, let me do this last little bit here. Okay. Increasing, if you have any like extra stuff on the sides, you can just take a bigger eraser and get rid of that content there on the side, like that. Once you're done and you're like, okay, cool, got all the stuff that I don't want to be out, click back on the layer settings and bump that opacity back up to 100%. Bowser's done now. I'm going to only show you one more character, but then I'll give you a final look of like what it looks like once I figured all of mine around. I think the next guy that I put in was Marth. So I'm going to take Marth here, and I'm going to move him down as well. And we're going to move him right above Bowser. Once again, duplicate him because we want an original copy. Eyeball out the original one. What I also recommend is that you take the eyeball ones or the hidden ones and you keep them in like their own category here. What you could even do if you want to get really organized is move the logo above them. That way you know that anything below the logo are just your backups in case something goes wrong. So we're going to take the Marth that we're going to use and we're going to move him here. Maybe shrink him down. Something you could play around with too, if you look in the top center, there's a flip horizontal and flip vertical button. The third one from the left is a flip horizontal. So if I click that, Martha will turn in the other direction, which I didn't actually do in my legit one, but I'm kind of enjoying this right now. Something like that, because it goes along that side of that oval shockingly well. I'm going to lose a lot of Marth on the bottom, which is fine. Like, you're not going to ideally keep all of your character. So then I will go in, again, with the Cashmere Eraser tool and erase the bottom half of Marth, because I don't want that. I want him to look like he's literally popping out of the logo. So let me just speed run here and erase his legs. Do a much tidier job, obviously, on the bottom, but there you go. And then I'll add in more and more and more. If you want a quick preview while we're here, let's save my sketch, and I'll transfer you over to my final file when it loads. Oh, I did move Marth. Here I am thinking or no, I didn't. No, I didn't. His sword is the opposite direction. But as you can see, his hand pops out a little bit there on the right. So when this opens, I'll just kind of zoom around and show you kind of like how I laid out these characters. Don't worry about the background color yet. That'll be in a later video. There we go. So yeah, there they all are. They're all laid out. Layer management is, locked in step and whatnot. We have all of our characters here on the layers. We have the logo. We have the color background. We'll get into that next. And then you can see here all my hidden layers are all my original characters, as well as the logo stock photo. Again, you don't have to keep that one, but that is what it'll look like as you kind of shimmy around. So take some guessing checks. Anything goes wrong, you can use one of your backups and you're good to go. All right, guys, good luck. Have fun.